Hello again everyone, welcome to another presentation of the Silent Sports video blog. Today's date is March 11th, 2023. I'm Troy West here with you once again. Thank you for joining me. I know it's been a while, it's been a couple weeks. Took the last week off. I was trying to focus on things that's going on behind the scenes. I'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the video. But some good things has happened since I made my move here to New Jersey. So thank you everyone who's still been supportive of me, even though the support has been shaky at best, and I expound on that at the end of the video. But we only missed 2 weeks, and a lot happened, but it's been a lot of news. Of course, the Morant situation with the Grizzlies, but he got some good news, sorta. He'll be back on the court sooner than later. The Kevin Durant injury, and we'll just look at the standings in the playoffs. That's the NBA. Major League Baseball, of course, other than the World Baseball Classic starting, the United States play tonight. I gave my top 5, I made a list of my top 5 relief pitchers in baseball, so I will share that list with you. That's coming up pretty much in the next few minutes here. And NFL, a big trade last night as far as the draft. The Bears traded their #1 pick to the Carolina Panthers for compensation. They switched the 9th pick, and so Carolina must have plans with that #1 pick now. Bears get I think a second this year. I think a second next year, something like that. And the receiver Moore going to Chicago, part of the deal. So Panthers just got a quarterback in mind or something, I'm guessing. And then we look at the other stuff. You know, everybody's waiting on what's going to happen about the Derek Carr, which I didn't write down here, but it just popped in my mind because he signs with the New Orleans Saints. So only 2 quarterbacks people waiting to see what's going to happen: Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson. So we're talking about both of those guys. And then, like I said, I'll give you an update of what's going on with me here. But let's get into the MLB news first. I'm gonna just do my top 5 relief pitchers real quick. Did some research on this, but didn't really, you know, like I said, baseball. Like I said, I'm a baseball fan, but I haven't been following it closely like I used to. Back when I was growing up, I used to buy a newspaper every day, so I was reading a lot of newspaper, reading a lot of articles. Now it's sort of, I just maybe look at some highlights, try to follow my team, the Atlanta Braves, and the top teams, you know, whoever the top teams are, like the Yankees would usually be, or, you know, teams of that nature. As far as like every day, you know, following the game, I have slacked off, but I'm still love baseball. I'm still a baseball fan, and I'm excited about this season. So we got one more list after this. We're going to do starting pitchers. I'm not going to dedicate next week. I don't know. I might have to work. So I'm not sure. I don't have to work today. That's why I decided to do the blogs today. I wasn't sure about last Saturday. I was trying to stay focused. And I think last weekend I wasn't really feeling that well either. So a lot of that stuff kicked in, and why I canceled the show last week. But let's get into this list. At number 5, Ryan Presley of the Houston Astros. Astros, of course, defending champions. This is a research. That's why I put him on here. Don't know really much about him. I think he was top 3 of some list that I see. But I got him at number 5. At number 4, Joe Romano of the Toronto Blue Jays. I know him from being a Braves fan. He is a good reliever. I got him at number 4. Emmanuel Chase of the Cleveland Guardians. Don't know much about him either. Did the research. Definitely had a big season last year. But I don't know much about him. And I'm all about, with these lists, it's not just about it's about right now, but it's also about your track record as well. So that's why he's number 3, but I see him either number 1 or some list that I researched on. So Emmanuel Chase is number 3. Number 2, Josh Hader, San Diego Padres. Padres would be some team we have to talk about, but like I said, they really went all in. They tried to challenge the Dodgers in the NL West. That's clearly what they're doing. They made the trade for him last year. I know him from Milwaukee, and he was lights out every time I saw him. Had a little controversy. Didn't really mean to bring it up, but that's what some people might know that name from. Had some old tweets when he was a teenager, but really don't mean anything. Sort of somewhat racial insensitive, whatever. But he's a great player. I like his stuff as a reliever, so I got him at number 2. And number 1, he was clearly number 1 on a lot of lists that I've seen. Edwin Diaz of the New York Mets. Mets really tried to do something this year as well. Had a big season last year, and he was part of it, saving games for the Mets. And I know him, he bounced around the league a little bit, so I know him a little bit. So he's number 1 on my list. Like I said, they had Chase. Some lists had Chase number 1. So, but I decided to go with Diaz. I mixed my own little opinions on it. So that's my list. Ryan Presley of the Houston Astros, Joey Romano of the Toronto Blue Jays, Manuel Chase of the Cleveland Guardians, Josh Hader of the San Diego Padres, and number 1 on my list, Edwin Diaz of the New York Mets. So that's my top 5 relievers list. I will do starting pitching next week. So definitely check out. That'll be my last list, and I'm gonna start previewing divisions. I might have to do league by league because the season starts really like 2-3 weeks. Season's not that far away. With the World Baseball Classic squeezed in there as well. Speaking of that, I think it started Tuesday overseas. Like the first couple pools started, but now they're back here in North America. USA play tonight. It's actually a nationally televised game. It's on Fox tonight as they play Great Britain tonight. So you can check the USA team out. I'm probably not going to be able to see it with my situation. Like I said, gotta get a TV and stuff like that. So until then, I probably will be able to watch a lot of sporting events. But this is the time of year not to have it because there's no football and the NBA playoffs ain't start yet. So I'm just trying to, get things together here still. Like I said, I'll give you an update on that at the end of the show. But that's my top 5 relievers list. And check out the World Baseball Classic. There's some games going on right now because it's overseas. USA tonight at 9 play Great Britain. So if you're a baseball fan, definitely check that out. I might at least try to keep up with it on my phone. Alright, so that's our baseball for this week. Thanks for still being here if you're still here. Like I said, I don't know a lot of baseball fans. NBA talk. Let's get into the NBA now. Biggest news this week, Kevin Durant supposed to kind of sucks. Like like I said, that's why this is the reason. Unfortunately, I think Phoenix got to work through this. Because since his Achilles injury, really been up and really before then. Before he left the Warriors, he was sort of injury prone. Even with the Nets, I don't think he played. He probably played about half the games he was supposed to play for the Nets because of injury, and he's hurt again. Got hurt at pregame warm-ups. It was supposed to be the Suns' his home debut with the Phoenix Suns. He rolled his ankle. People thought it was worse when initially happened. People thought it was really, really bad, but now it's like a 3-week injury. So that is good. So 3 weeks from now, that's probably about basically April. He'll be back right before the playoffs. I think Phoenix will be fine. The way the West is, I think Phoenix will probably still be a top 4 seed without him. But that's why I don't think you can't pencil them into let alone the finals championship. The West right now, like I said, we're about to look at the standings and look at the playoff picture. But the West is just really wide open. Sacramento is the 2nd seed. No disrespect to the Kings. I think the Kings deserve a lot of shine right now. The team that they have a decent team, but you wouldn't think they'd be 2nd in the West. Nuggets cooled off a little bit. They still number 1, still got a cushion. I think the Grizzlies is a team to watch out for. If Morant come back right, we're gonna talk about him in a second. They're gonna be a dangerous team as well. Warriors, just gonna lower it down. Warriors and Lakers, I think it's a wait and see, but they're capable of turning their stuff around. If they get the playoffs, they won't be afraid of anybody, I don't think. But I think in the West for sure, home court not going to mean that much to me. I think it's going to depend on the matchups in the West. I don't think no team other than, well, I guess I see the Warriors, even though the Warriors are down there, but they haven't played well on the road all year long. Only 7 road wins for the season, so that's something to look out for. But I just think with their championship pedigree, if they stay healthy, they'll challenge anybody. But we're going to look at the standings in a second. But for us to stay on Kevin Durant, it just sucks that he keeps getting these injuries here and there. Hopefully he'll be back in 3 weeks and stay healthy for the rest of the playoff run. But Devin Booker and Chris Paul definitely capable of doing their day. DeAndre Ayton, I think he's starting to now become a little underrated because he could be a factor in these Western Conference playoffs if he's played big and do his thing. He will pose matchup problems for a lot of teams in the West because no really interior big men in the Western Conference. Other than Anthony Davis, that's why I think the Lakers still got a shot. If he plays out his mind, and he has been lately, the Lakers are going to pose a problem. But since we talked about that, let's segue to the standings and the playoff picture. We're going to talk about Ja Morant in a second after this. So we're going to look at the standings here. So start the East. The East, like I said, the 3 top teams clearly is Milwaukee, Boston, and Philadelphia. Boston, I don't want to say they've been struggling, but they've been sort of up and down, lost a couple of tough games. Cleveland, to me, like I said, I put them below Philadelphia, Boston, and Milwaukee, just because they're inexperienced. But they can play. They benches sort of. Don't have a lot of depth on the bench, but Jared Allen, like I said, I'm still believing the big man, because the big man now is pretty much rare. So if you got one and you willing to dedicate yourself and exploit the smaller teams, that's a big advantage. That's why I think the Sixers probably more than ever has a chance, because Embiid, and he's climbing up the MVP race. Giannis is a big, pretty much, even though he plays on the outside. Boston with Robert Williams. So Cleveland could probably throw a Mookie Rich in there, maybe. The Knicks, shout out to the Knicks. They've been playing a good basketball of late. Jalen Brunson seemed like he was a big pickup for the Knicks. And I think they kind of young with R.J. Bird and Toppin and those guys. I mean, they're a good team. We'll see what they do in the playoffs, but I think that Cleveland, if it stays the way it is, Cleveland, New York series, that's going to be a great series in the first round. Brooklyn, we're waiting for the fall, but they got talent, so I think Brooklyn might wind up still making it. They might fall into the play-in round, because I think Miami might pass them. But all these other teams, other than Miami, really. Atlanta, Atlanta, to me, since the run, they fired Nate McMillan, which I think was unfortunate, but they made that run to the Eastern Conference Finals. Trae Young was out his mind, but Atlanta's been up and down. Raptors, talented, but just don't have enough. Washington as well, I feel the same way. Bulls, I think not having Lonzo Ball, I think that hurts them this year. Indiana, to me, I don't know what happened to them. They was a steady team, but obviously not, don't have enough. Halliburton having a good year, Miles Turner, but just not enough for the Pacers. Orlando, a team to watch out for. They're young. Pacharo, I might not be saying his name right, the rookie, he's good. I've seen some of his highlights, and they've been climbing the charts. They've been quietly playing good basketball as well. Charlotte done because Lamar is out again, so I don't put too much shock in Charlotte. and Detroit already been eliminated. So that's your top. That's from 1 to 15. But I think Brooklyn might still wind up making the play-in. Maybe the Bulls, Pacers, or Magic might come up. Washington or Toronto might fall out. Atlanta. It's basically they all the same. That's basically what I'm saying. Like, this could flip between now and then. If I had to stay right now, I would say it would stay pretty much how it is. I think Miami going to move up. I think Brooklyn might fall a little bit. I still believe in Atlanta because of the guards. Trae Young and Dejounte Murray. I just think off of that they might survive. Raptors, to me, I don't want to say they disappointing, but they have a lot of talent. I would think they would be a little bit better than what they are, but they are where they are, so you gotta take them at face value. Like I said, Chicago, like I said, not having Lonzo Ball, I think they just not consistent enough. Pacers could maybe turn it around because they still got the guys in Orlando, so. But I think Charlotte's done, even though they're not officially done. I think Charlotte's done because no LaMelo Ball. Alright, let's go to the West. Denver, like I said, 6-game lead over Memphis and Sacramento Kings, and the Memphis Grizzlies got the same record. Some people think Phoenix might rise, but like I said, without Durant, even though I think they had the talent enough, they might maybe catch Memphis or Sacramento. But the Kings, like I said, you got to get the Kings they real respect. Sabonis has played great. De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Josh Hader, they got a nice nucleus and they all play together well. Like I said, I haven't seen a game, but I've seen highlights. Just defensively, that's their weakness. But a lot of these teams not good. Like Denver, to me, they okay defensively, but they're not great defensively. Phoenix actually might be okay defensively because of Kevin Durant. Clippers, you thought they would be better defensively. They 5th. Now I'm going down in order. We'll see Russell Westbrook, how that goes. Dallas, same, no defense. They might outscore you sometimes. I like Kyrie Irving. I like Luka. But defensively, it's going to be an issue. So all these teams have major weaknesses, especially on the defensive side. Warriors, like I said, we talked a little bit about them. They can't see like they carried on the road. Steph a little bit banged up. Klay Thompson started liking stuff again. Draymond Green had the little accident with Dylan Brooks. Y'all probably heard about that. Like I said, I don't know about the Warriors about making a serious run, but if they're not gonna be afraid of anyone in a 7-game series. Minnesota, I need to check on Cat condition, Karl Anthony Towns, because if they get him back, and Minnesota would be a dangerous team again on the bottom. Lakers starting to play a lot better. Will LeBron come back? He got hurt as well this week, last week. Let's see if he comes back and make a push. New Orleans, I was really high on them, especially when they was number 1 in the West. Like the beginning of the new year, they just fell off the map. Zion Williamson, obviously is somebody that they need. Brandon Ingram can't do it by himself. CJ McCollum too inconsistent. Utah Jazz, scrappy team, but I think they trying to lose. I mean, you know, it seems like they are, but they got some scrappy players that's not going to quit, so they might hang around. I like OKC. He lost his Sigurius Alexander. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. Stays healthy. I really like his game. The Thunder next year, I think they're going to be, I don't want to say contender, but they're going to be, they might be top 6 next year. They get this young talent back. They get the rookie that they lost back. I really like this team. They always draft well. With a lot of young players, just hope they're able to keep them all this time. I like the Thunder. They might make the play-in this year. Because I think New Orleans probably got fall. So I think they might make a run. Blazers, Damian Lillard's unbelievable. 72-point game. I ain't gonna talk about that. That happened, I think, since I've been gone. 71-point game, excuse me. He's all world. But everybody else is just too consistent. But I think they, like, if you look at their roster, they're not a bad team. You would think they'd be a little bit better. But, like I said, you got to take them at face value. Same with Toronto. I feel about Portland how I feel about Toronto. The Blades, Toronto got talent. They just won't come together. So all those teams still got a shot because from Portland, even though with 31 wins, Dallas is 6th with 34. And a lot of teams got 34. Dallas, Golden State, Minnesota, they saw tiebreakers here. Lakers at 33 wins, New Orleans 32, Utah 32, then 31 for OKC and Portland. So all those teams still have a shot. So this could be all over the place. Teams can move up. I think the top 6 are solid though. I like Dallas. I think they are a little bit better than Golden State right now. That's why I want to see if Minnesota gets Karl Anthony Towns back. Lakers could move up. Clippers got the talent as well, but can do it all fit together. I guess I'll cut it at 4. I think Phoenix, Memphis, Sacramento, Denver, they your top 4. I think everybody else, they can flip today and tomorrow, next day, next week. This could be all flipped all over the place. So definitely something to look out for though. So that's our playoff picture right now. Our playoff our standings looking, because I didn't really break down playoff matchups, but other than Cleveland, New York, because I think that's going to stand. I think that those two are pretty much locked, the 4 and 5, regardless. I think Philly, Boston, and Milwaukee, that might change. I like the Bucks to get the 1 seed, but Boston, like I said, been great all year, and Philadelphia, Joel Embiid, seems like he's on a mission, so any of them 3 can finish top seed. But I think Cleveland, New York, I think that's booked at. I think that's going to be a first round series, 4 or 5. 6, like I said, I think it's going to wind up being Miami. But I don't count Atlanta either. But I can't see like Toronto or Washington moving up that high. So we'll see. Alright, so that's that for now. Let's talk about the Ja Morant situation. I ain't going to try to take long on this. Because that said, it's not newsworthy. Like he, you know, everybody know the trouble he been in. At least the last one, he was partying on social media. I want to say it was Instagram, not sure. And he flashed a gun and all this other stuff. And then Colorado got these certain laws. He was in Colorado. They just played the Nuggets. And it was a whole bunch of blah 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 blah. So I guess my quick take on it, everybody know what happened. I don't have to rehash everything. A lot of stuff came out today about the teenager, punching the teenager and waving the gun at the Pacers and all that other crap that he's done at the mall. I think that's the same situation. But anyway, I'm sort of, you know, he's a young guy. He's 23, I believe. That's I last checked. He's a young guy. I mean, young guys just do dumb stuff. Unfortunately, he's doing some stuff that could get him locked up. But, you know, like I said, I did dumb stuff at 23. I was still learning life and stuff like that. And so is he. That's what you got to remember about these young players. Like, these guys just try to figure out life and try to stay focused on basketball. You know, he probably would enjoy himself, party and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna be one of the ones that say, all right, man, you need to just stay from going out, stay from this. You should be able to enjoy your life, regardless of who you are, what your status are in life. You should be able to. But you can't. He can't just walk the streets normally, you know, stuff like that, because it's how popular he is. But that's why part of the reason why I don't try to be so starstruck, even though I've never seen a whole bunch of NBA players or movie stars, anything of that nature. I seen a few when I worked at the hotel years ago, and we was out in the outskirts. I was from Baltimore, as y'all know, so I was in Hunt Valley. If y'all are familiar with Baltimore, Hunt Valley, that was like, we got the reject. I ain't gonna say the reject, but like, you know, people wanted to be downtown, but if you're gonna get downtown, you came out there. You know, downtown, you know, you get on the Beltway, you can get downtown quick still, but you're not right downtown. So we got a few celebrities that creeped up in our hotel before. But anyway, Morant, I think he just need to just stay out of trouble. Just stay out of trouble. I'm not gonna be the one to judge you, bro. There's a lot of people in the media, you know, condemning them and all this other stuff. I'm not gonna go that far. But I'm also not going to say, you know, that he need to just keep doing what he's doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. eventually one of these situations is gonna go left, and you're not gonna be able to get out of it, or you might wind up doing some jail time or getting seriously suspended in any of those things. So calm it down, but still live your life. I mean, I'm sort of on the fence with it. Just gotta watch yourself. Just like that what he just did. Don't flash no gun on camera. You know you can't do that. Like, that's just, no offense, common sense. You just, you wasn't gonna get off with that. But the good thing is he did get charged. Because Colorado got strict gun laws or something. So he didn't get charged with anything, so he's good on that. Now he's just going to be out the next 4 games. I think the Grizzlies just played... Did they just play last night? I believe so. So I think he's 3 games out before he can come back. So he'll be back sooner than later. That's why I think the Grizzlies going to be dangerous, because I think he's going to be focused. Like I said, the Grizzlies' problem, I think they need to just grow up a little bit. Just get their focus back. They have the talent to win the West. I mean, even against you can put them up against anybody, and you can't definitively say they're not going to win. So we'll see. The Grizzlies will be a dangerous team. We'll see where they finish second or third. I think Denver going to hold on to that 1 spot in the West, like I said. But Josh, just keep your nose clean, stay out of trouble, lay low a little bit, still live your life. You shouldn't not be able to live your life. And I don't know his posse, because I heard different conflicting things about his I don't want to call them either. His friends. I'm gonna say his friends, because I don't know if they people just assuming these probably just some guys from the street and just don't have nothing to do and just protected them and stuff like that. Like, they pretty much renegades and stuff. No, we don't know that. So I'm not gonna condemn his crew. And I don't want to use the wrong words. I don't want to, group them up, because of course you're going to have a bad apple in every bunch. If it's a bunch of you guys, one of you guys, somebody ain't going to do something right. So I mean, yeah, you got to watch who you keep around you and stuff like that. But at the same time, if let's just say I'd have made it to the NBA or the NFL or whatever, I definitely would have tried to, help my, somebody I grew up with. Now, I didn't have a lot of friends, so it probably would have been easier for me. But I had some people I probably would have, I would have tried to at least, help out. That's just what you do, and you don't want to seem like you better than anyone, so I get it. And he's young, so you got to figure all that out. So people need to calm down a little bit, because they're making this a big deal. Hopefully he'll be back and he just focus, play basketball, get the Grizzlies where they need to be in the postseason, and I think everything will be fine. So that's my somewhat advice, John. Just keep your nose clean, and go out there and ball. And I think those 2 things are easy for him. Alright, I didn't pay attention to what I started. I think I started about 20 after, so I think I'm about 30 minutes in, but I'm not 100% sure. It's 9:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to get to the NFL now. Big trade last night. As far as with the draft, the Bears trade the number 1 overall pick to the Carolina Panthers last night. What it means for the Bears, I guess this is showing that they dedicated to Justin Fields. I think they did they hire a new coach? I don't know who their coach is. But I think they just got to put some talent around the kid. Obviously, he can run the football. He pretty much had like a Lamar Jackson year running the ball. He led the league in rushing as far as quarterbacks by a landslide. Got to get better, like I said, throwing the ball, playing the quarterback position. But he's talented. The Bears pretty much going to stick with him. They moved down to 9 in this year's draft, and they get a second round pick for the Panthers as well. DJ Moore goes to Chicago. Maybe the Bears had something in mind. They could get something at 9 instead of something number 1. The Panthers in, like I said, they're looking for a quarterback. There's rumors that they're looking at Lamar. I don't know. I think we're going to talk about Lamar in a second. I'll get my thoughts on if people think it's collusion because he wants so much guaranteed money. We can talk about that in a second. But as far as for the Panthers, I think they're looking at it. That's what they want their own quarterback. I think they want to draft one. That's what it's starting to look like to me. There's a couple of decent quarterbacks in this draft. The kid from USC that just won the Heisman, he'll be up there. The kid from Ohio State, I think he's in this draft. So it's some decent quarterbacks in this draft that could possibly blossom into a great quarterback. This league got a lot of young quarterbacks. If Brady stay retired, because now rumors that he might come back out of retirement. So now I'm back on. First I was 100% sure. Now, since I'm starting to hear this stuff, I'm not sure. He might come back. I think he probably just don't want to go back to Tampa. I think that's what it's starting to look like. But that's a whole other story for another day. But yeah, I think Carolina's looking at a top tier quarterback, so they made this move. They didn't really give up a lot, they switched ones with the Chicago. They got Chicago, they didn't give up a lot. And on the Panthers side, like I said, they could get what they want at one. They could start evaluating. Drafting is about a month from now, a month and a half. So they can start looking at the guy that maybe that they looking at. But it got to be a quarterback here. I can't imagine it's any other position. Usually they'll trade up to one to get like a offensive lineman or a defensive player or a receiver, or a running back. So it got to be a quarterback that they like, and that's why they made this move. So that was the big news bomb last night. So we're gonna talk about Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson real quick. Aaron Rodgers did that little dark seclusion thing. I don't know. I mean, Aaron Rodgers to me has always been sort of, you can't read him. You don't know if he's upset. You hear that he's upset, but you don't really know. You don't really know. My feel is he don't want to leave Green Bay. I think he just wanted to maybe make some moves and make the team around him better. Maybe this is some pressure to do that. But I think Green Bay is done with him. That's all the reports I'm hearing now. That they done. If he leaves, he leaves. They probably really shopping him. The Jets say they have a package together, I think, to try to get him. Sauce Gardner with the little funny video when he burnt his little cheese because the Jets went up there and won last season, and he took a cheese head and pretty much rubbed it in the face of the Packers. And Sauce Gardner is unbelievable. That Jets team has talent. The quarterback is probably the weakest link right now. So they get Rodgers, they think that'll work. Get them at least into the playoffs, let alone maybe compete. But the AFC is too deep, so it's going to be tough for them. They're going to have to deal with Buffalo in their own division. I think Miami, if Tua stay healthy, I think Miami is going to be quietly a contender as well next coming season. They just picked up his option, so Miami. So the things teams doing, I'm about to get to Lamar, I'm about to translate to Lamar, but the things teams doing, it seems like nobody really is interested, because a lot of teams said they're not interested in Lamar. But I don't know. Miami doing that. I don't think if they would have picked up their option if they was looking to really go all in on Lamar Jackson. But to stick with Aaron Rodgers, we go talk about Lamar, like I said. I guess the New Orleans thing's off the table because of Derek Carr. And let me talk about that real quick. I think that put the Saints already number one in that division. Unless Tom Brady do come back to Tampa, I think it's the Saints division to lose. Atlanta, we'll see what they do. We're going to talk about Lamar in a minute. We'll talk about them in a minute. But Derek Carr going to New Orleans definitely put them as the top team in the NFC South. But for Rodgers, other destinations other than New Orleans, which never really came up with him. Las Vegas has come up. The Raiders, that's came up a couple of times. And the Jets, they're the two that keep coming up. Because Green Bay ain't gonna trade him in the NFC. I just don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. So he has to probably open his mind and look at the AFC. Even though the AFC, like I said, it's gonna be a tough road to make the playoffs, let alone win a championship again. So, but I think the Raiders, I don't know, I think both would be tough. I think maybe the Jets would be easier because I guess Buffalo, I don't know, Buffalo's starting to fall apart a little bit. You hearing stuff about them. So maybe you think you can overtake the Bills, even with Josh Allen. So we'll see. So I guess you'd rather go to that division than to go to the AFC West. Them just looking at it from Aaron Rodgers' standpoint. To go to the Raiders. Josh McDaniels, to me, I don't know about this guy. I think he want his own guy too. I think that's why I don't see them doing it. I think he want his own quarterback. He can mold himself. I don't think it seemed like he wouldn't get along with a veteran other than Brady. So I'm starting not to see the Raiders happening at all. So we'll see. But I think the little cat and mouse game Rodgers like to play. I think everybody say he learned it from Brett Favre. Brett Favre did the same thing every year. Says contemplate retiring and then come back like right before the season. So, but I think Green Bay ain't going for it. So I think they really is shy. But I think the Jets thing is starting to be a realistic possibility. So that's something to look out for in the next few weeks. So let's move on to the Lamar Jackson. Of course, I talked about this really for the last year and a half, but really I talked about it in the last blog. The Ravens messed up. Like I said, the Ravens messed up. They should have paid him last summer. They should have paid him the summer before that. Once he won the MVP, they should have paid him. So that's going back 2 years, 3 years. So they should have paid him then. And now it's a big problem. They gave him the tag, the unexclusive tag, which means other teams could talk. He could talk to other teams. Other teams could talk to him about a deal. And then the Ravens, only thing they could do is just match the deal if they want to match the deal. So he only going to get, if he stays with the Ravens, was it 33 million, something like that, 35 million. I think if it had been exclusive tag, it would have been 45, something like that. But nobody would have been able to talk to him. He'd have been here, a Raven, that's it. And he got a signed tender as well. So a lot of stuff still had to happen. But a lot of teams, like I said, Panthers look like they not interested. They got, they went for the #1 pick, so I think they looking at a quarterback in the draft. Miami picked up Stewart's option, so they're out. New Orleans out, even though New Orleans out was really brought up. But New Orleans out, they got their car. They're not gonna go for Lamar now. The Jets, to me, they seem like they more interested in Rodgers. Like that's all you keep hearing. They ain't even brought up Lamar Jackson, so they still like they more interested in Rodgers. And I think that don't sound logical, but I guess they don't want to give up too much. I think they had to give up a lot to get Lamar, and I think that's the problem with the Jets there. Atlanta, I think Atlanta just bluffing. There's no reason why you would be interested in Lamar. I mean, yeah, they got a young quarterback that they like, but this draft they too low because they had a decent season, even though they didn't make the playoffs. But they had a decent season above, which we thought they wasn't going to do. So they saw it in the middle of the first round. So you're not going to get a quarterback unless it's a quarterback that they think they can get there where they are. But I don't know. I think Atlanta still might be in play. And I actually, even though I'm a Ravens fan, true, man. I love the Ravens. I think the Ravens made a big mistake by not paying him when they should have. But I love football, so for Lamar, I think Atlanta would be a great place to go. Atlanta and Detroit has been thrown out there, but I'm not going to count them out. But I really think they like Jared Goff, and like I said, I didn't like Jared. I mean, as far as a player, I didn't like Jared Goff. I was like, Jared Goff is a system. He needs a system. But what he did in Detroit this year, I took my hat off to him. Like, he proved me wrong. I thought Detroit would just be Detroit with him, but he was a big reason why they almost made the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. I think he's going to have a better year this year. The Lions is a team to look out for next year as well. With, you don't know if Rodgers coming back, but Minnesota, to me, I just think with Cousins, unfortunately, they just have a ceiling. Like, it's just like they have a ceiling. They need to get way better defensively. That's their problem. But they can win that division next year. I think the Bears are still a couple years away to figure out what Justin Fields is going to be. But that division, Detroit can win it next year. And Lamar, see, to me, Lamar, I think Lamar, I think I will call him a system quarterback. I mean, your whole offense got to change. You got to run a lot of read option. Lamar can stand back there and throw the ball though. Like, but I think the offensive coordinators in Baltimore didn't, they sort of tried to force that. I think he gotta play. I think Lamar's the type he can play on instinct. Like, if we feel like he need to run, he runs. But if he don't, he is a passer. That's why receivers is kind of frustrating, because you don't get a rhythm, because he don't go to receivers a lot. He only go to them on deep passes, or to fill out to fill on what he feels. He go to Andrews, who's pretty much his receiver as a tight end. So it's frustrating as a receiver. I can see how it can be frustrating to play with him, but I think he deserves at least $200 million guaranteed. Now, unfortunately, everybody jumping on the Deshaun Watson contract. And me as a fan, like I said, looking at it in so many different ways, I can understand. I don't understand why the Browns did that. That was just stupid. Like, the Browns, that was dumb. I wouldn't have gave him all guaranteed money. He went out of Houston. We know what he did, his troubles and stuff like that. Hopefully he's past those now. He's a talented quarterback. I still think Deshaun Watson, is going to come back and be a decent quarterback. But I wouldn't have gave up all that for him, Cleveland, and gave him a fully guaranteed contract. So that's right now. That's the standard. And Lamar resume against his is a little bit better. He's actually won a playoff game, and he actually won MVP. That's the advantage he got over him. Josh Allen, even though Josh Allen has been late, Lamar been hurt as well. That's what's hurting him in this situation as well. But Josh Allen got a contract. Joe Burrow, I wonder who this contract would be now. Cincinnati, we'll see what they do with Joe Burrow. But yeah, like Lamar should have, like I said, they should have. As soon as he won MVP, they should have worked to him and give. Now he would probably be having him at a bargain now. That's why they understand it. But somebody in that organization don't believe in him. That's the only way I can look at it. There's no other way, or I would have paid him. So we'll continue to follow this. This is going to be a story until he gets signed, or if another team. Now, I wonder if another team going to offer him something. That's the thing, but I don't think so. I don't know. I think they rather trade for. I don't know. It's going to be kind of weird to see. The only team I would see that would do it is Atlanta. I don't think the Jets would do it. That's why I think the Jets really pretty much more interested in Rodgers. Other teams out there, Carolina, like I said, I think they want a young guy. So I think they go into the draft, even though Lamar's still young. Other teams with quarterbacks. Miami, like I said, they picked up choice options, so I don't think they end up running anymore. So they started to get interested though with that situation. But Ravens, just pay him, man. Just pay the guy. Y'all messed up. Y'all should have paid him 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Now y'all in a situation, so it's on them. So that's it. Okay, so that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about this week on the sports world. Let me give you a little life update, a little final thoughts here as I wrap this one up. Like I said, this is my second video here. I have moved to New Jersey, South Jersey. My friend Yvette Shockley, she opened her home to me. My situation at home got bad. I had to go. So I took the opportunity that I got here. Good news, I'm already working. I've been here 3 weeks Monday, and I already been working this week. I should have a full schedule next week. So that's why last week I didn't do the blog for that reason. I just went to focus on trying to find work because they started to get pressure, and I wasn't feeling great. I was starting to get a little depressed, so I skipped last week. I could have did it last week, but I skipped. And this stock will be my permanent venue. Even I might move in the basement of the home, and I set things up there. this microphone ain't acting right. It might be some pictures. I'm gonna have to check the video once it posts. It's that humming sound that I hear through the microphone when I record. So probably have to buy me another microphone. I like my old microphone that I had, and I just use this one for gaming. But so that's what's going on. That's why I did come on last week. And just I just sort of put this out there real quick. Like I said, I had people that I talked to. Like I said, I don't like to use people's names because I don't know if they put their name out there and stuff like that. Although I put my friend's name out there because I know she's okay with it. And like I said, I'm grateful and indebted to her for letting me come in her home. I know it's been a process. We got history. It's just a lot of things going on mentally, not just me physically being here. So I appreciate her by putting that to the side and sacrificing for me, which a lot of people don't do for me. So I'll always be indebted to her, regardless of where I go from here. Even if I even fail even more, I will still owe her a big gratitude for the rest of my life. So and that's why I be trying to get her to watch the videos. But speaking of watching videos, and I'm not complaining, like I said, I never was the person complaining about views. Never been a person complaining about subscriptions, anything like that. Now I get discouraged. It bothers me a little bit, but I don't come on here and yell and curse and make people do. Like, I feel like, and this has been me, and maybe it's a flaw. People can tell me it's a flaw. Even my brother, we had this argument. Shout out to my bro, Don Parker. He supported this move. He didn't like the move all the way, but he supported it. My family, like I said, I was working for my family, so it might have something to do with that. But they, haven't heard anything from them really. One of my sisters called, but really don't have no family. Far as friends, I don't have a lot of friends anyway, but it's some people that I talk to, social media wise, stuff like that. I think some people are genuine, I think some people are not. It's friends, I guess y'all can tell me, I've had friends over 10 years, and it's like, it don't, it's just, they don't show that it means anything to them. Our friendship or whatever, it's just disappointing. I'm just disappointed, in the lack of support. To be honest, I don't know what I did to people. I just feel like if I'm not doing anything for them, really since I fell off, and I don't want to use the word fall off, but since I've been, in this situation for 6 now, it's been 6 years, because this is around the time in 2017 when my depression just took its own. It just took over me. I admit that, it just took over me. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to do anything. I just want to stay in my house and just crawl under my sheets. That's what I really did. Literally was doing that. I would get up in the morning, watch my sports shows because I still had my cable. Call out. I got up in the morning to call out of work. I didn't get up in the morning to work. I was just at a whole nother level. That feeling, I never would have felt that again. It pretty much changed my life. I lost everything. I lost my will. I lost physical things, my apartment. I had to move with my mom. That situation was, it was somewhere to stay, but it was just so much negativity there. And if I'd have stayed there, who knows what would have happened to me. Couldn't find work, no other work. Didn't really want to work, to be honest with you. I was still in a rut, so I could have looked harder. I admit that to this day, but really since then, a lot of people just turned away from me, even before then. But really, that was a reason. I'm not perfect, like I said, because people will say, well, I do make things awkward. I'm an emotional person. I like to tell people how I feel, regardless, good or bad. I like to tell people how I feel, especially if I really care about you. I let you know that, because life is short. And speaking of life is short, I almost forgot, which I shouldn't have forgot, because it was a week ago today. Everybody, I used to pretty much tell you I used to do assisted living. I never really get into detail exactly where I was and things of that nature. But lost a friend of mine, Clifford Bowles, rest in peace. He was found deceased last Saturday morning. Actually, I got the news. Well, I got the news about 6:30 in the morning. Somebody I pretty much took care of, and he's one of my residents. And it sort of messed my head up because I just left. I've been gone, like I said, 3 weeks Monday, and he wound up, just passing away. It's just, I try not to put the guilt on me, because it might have still would happen if I was still there, but he was a good person. I used to send him to the store. That's how a lot of stuff was possible. Actually, with my blog, get me things I need to write my notes in, because I was stuck in the house. I couldn't go nowhere, so he would go to the store for me. So I just want to say I appreciate it, bro. I hope you rested in peace. So I just want to put that out there as well. But as far as just everything else that's going on, I'm trying to focus on work. I got a job, so I don't know. Like I said, I'm not gonna dedicate, because I might have to work on Saturday sometimes. I think Sundays I probably always would be off, so I can even do it on Sundays. But I try to, I'm not gonna give the channel up, even though I thought about it. I thought about giving the channel up. It's just a lack of support. I'm gonna post. I'm still gonna post stuff on my social media, see if I get any views or not. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed in people. And maybe people disappointed me, but I don't understand, being friends with people so long, how they could just turn it back. I couldn't turn my back on somebody I know, or a friend of mine that I know for, let alone a year, let alone 10, 15 years, I just couldn't do it. I don't, like I said, I don't like to, I try not to pay the pity party, because a lot of people say that to me. A lot of people say some real bad stuff to me, and I'm supposed to just ignore it, but I sort of do, because it's like, all they gonna do is just throw stuff in my face. Yeah, things here, it could be better, but it could be a lot worse. I could have not found work this fast. Days could be going worse. And again, I thank my friend Vet for letting me stay here, because she didn't have to do it. And I sort of came here last minute notice. So, and like I said, she got her problems as well, just like anybody else do. Like I said, then we have things going on between us, so it's just things to try to work around. But I'll always be indebted to her for giving me this opportunity. Like I said, I don't plan on going back to Baltimore at all. Unfortunately, I don't plan on going back. I really don't. I just don't. Like I said, I went into detail probably when I talked about this, but like I said, basically, it's nothing there for me. I don't have no family there. I don't have no children. So I don't think I have no friends there but my brother. So it's like, what's the point? Why go back home for what? So I might not stay here in Jersey, but I'm definitely going to make a move. Reach my happiness. Like I said, I'll be 40, so I'm sort of, taking that step. I'm trying to get to a peaceful place at the age of 40. That's my. I don't want to. By the time I get into my 50s, I want to be, have a peace of mind, not worry about people, not worry about money, any of those things. I just want to have a peaceful mind and peaceful thoughts, positive thoughts all through my mind. So that's what I'm living for. That's what I'm standing for, at least for the rest of my life. That's my goal. So But everybody that does support, I'm not talking to, basically like my sister, my older sister. I miss her so much, man. I just know that I wouldn't be in these predicaments if she was still alive. But she used to always say, if it don't apply, let it fly. Yeah, certain people that I'm talking to, but some people like to just say, oh, he talked about me or whatever. Now, my family, yes, I'm talking about my family, yeah. Like, yes, I'm talking about y'all. But as far as friends and certain friends, I don't know how you feel. I'm pretty much asking you a question. But if you feel, if this upsets you, then it's you. Like, that's what my sister said. Don't apply, let it fly. So, but let's just look at action. Like, sometimes action does, speak louder than words in certain situations. Yeah, you wouldn't hear the words, but where the support been? Not saying that I need, and I'm the type, I don't ask nobody for anything. Even when I need, like I'm in need right now, I don't go around just asking people for stuff. I try to either earn it, or if I do ask, I know I have a way to pay them back in a reasonable time. I don't just ask and then not knowing if I'm going to be able to pay that person back. And people know that about me. I don't know. But I don't want to rant because I don't know how much time I got. Like I said, I've been on here at least close to an hour. So thank you guys so much for support. Peace and love always. Hopefully I see you guys next week. But if not, I gotta get better at communicating myself. So if I know I'm not going to do a blog, I announce something on my community wall, something like that, or on social media. So thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Peace and love. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for the support.